Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Maya Louisa, and today I wanted to do this video, and I'm gonna try and do it live and see how it goes. And I don't normally go live, but I was like, why not? Let's try something new, and you can ask me questions and all that good stuff. So I hope that people find me. Okay, it's okay. So let me just begin. So this is about receiving and receiving from the divine feminine. So how this video came about was I was watching an old World Cup video from 2022, and what was happening was it was as you know, the biggest soccer match in the world. The entire world is watching. It's the two best teams. This was the finals, right? This is like an old video, but the whole world is watching. The teams were tied. It's like the end of the game. Everyone is in agony. They just want it to be over. They want their team to win. And it was one player that had to, it was like between him and the goalie to see who was going to win, right? He had to make the shot. And I was trying to like fathom how much pressure, how much energy, how much eyes, how much just the whole world is like watching you. I felt like if I was in his shoes, my legs would have crumbled. So it got me thinking about energy, thinking about how much energy I can hold. And really it comes down to the nervous system, and these are, professional athletes that have so much experience. But at the same time, could you imagine just being on that field, having millions of eyes on you, watching you? Half the world wants you to not make the goal, half the world is praying that you make the goal. Just that amount of pressure. And I was like tapping into that energy, and I was like, that athlete in that moment was receiving a tremendous amount of energy. What does that take? How strong is that athlete's nervous system? Then I have another story that came up. I was remembering one time. I have a unique life in that I have family in Cuba, which is a socialist economy. So I have family that makes about $15 a month. Okay, you heard me right. $15 a month. They're living in Cuba. And then I also have friends that are multimillionaires. So I have a whole range of people that I know, people that are in my world. And so I was remembering one time I was visiting a friend. I'm from Brooklyn, right? I was visiting a friend in the Bronx with another friend of mine. And we both at the time lived in Brooklyn. So, the Bronx is a little, ya tú sabes. So my friend, who is a multimillionaire, has a driver, the big black cars, and was like, oh, I'll send my driver to come and pick your friend up, and the driver will drive you guys home since you're in the Bronx. It's late, it's nothing. So I was like, yeah, bet. So when the black car pulls up, we open the doors. There's like a bouquet of roses for me, a bouquet of roses for my friend. And so this is like, I'm used to that. That's like normal to me. But my friend, it was like pulling teeth to get her into this damn car. She was coming up with all type of excuses about, oh, maybe she should take the train. Oh, she can't because, oh, maybe she left something over here. And I was like, girl, get in this car and you have a beautiful ride home in this luxurious black car. What's the problem? Take these flowers, and get in this car and go home. But for her, was not, her nervous system was not set to receive that. She was not, she, it wasn't at that set point to receive that level of treatment. She wasn't used to it. It was uncomfortable for her. I love your videos. I hope to take your course very soon. Ashe, I hope to have you soon. Would love to have you in the course. Okay, so that's my story number 2. And then the last one, when it comes to receiving, is I have direct experience with this. Where there was a woman who, she had a son very young, right? And then she went into the church. So when she went into the church, I believe that her frequency was it got raised up because she was in prayer and she was like praise dancing and doing all these things, right? So then she meets a guy in the church who's a good guy. He's a man of God. He's, loyal, provider, all those things. She marries him. They have 2 kids together. But what happened? After they have the 2 kids, she started feeling a bit bored. And it was that her nervous system wasn't set to a point of stability. Her nervous system was very used to drama. Her nervous system was very used to being cheated on. Her nervous system was very used to having that agony of the pull of like love being there and not being there, being cheated on, being mistreated. Yes? So that was her emotional set point. That's what she's used to. So when she is in a marriage that didn't have that pull, that drama, that energy, she then created it. Because that's what she believed she deserved, and that's what her nervous system was set to. It was too calm. It was too calm for her. So she ended up destroying a marriage with a wonderful guy. A wonderful guy completely sabotaged the whole thing. So what is my point here? With all of these stories, my point is about receiving. Receiving. Is here my son? Receiving. And so as a divine feminine essence being, it is one of the pillars of feminine energy is learning the art of receiving, learning how to receive, learning yourself and having the self-awareness about what is your set point for receiving. Are you subconsciously sabotaging things because you're not used to it, because you don't believe that you deserve these good things? So I have my notes here because I'm live and I want to be enfocada. So it all comes down to your nervous system. It comes down to what your emotional set point is. It comes down to your quality of life that you believe that you deserve. And so sometimes what happens is that we go through things in our childhood, we go through experiences in school, we go through experiences in college, and throughout our life, we might have negative experiences that subconsciously in our mind is telling us that we are bad, that we are damaged, that there's something wrong with us inherently. So then we lower our standards as women. And so the process of arising in your divine feminine is healing those parts of you, seeing yourself as whole, and also to be your own nourishment, your own sense of nourishment, and not looking for that outside of yourself. So the quality of life, your quality of life is dependent on what you believe you deserve and what you give to yourself. This is so important. I need you to know the divine feminine, the way that we give to the world is by giving to ourselves. When you're in your divine feminine and you receive is how you give. When you receive is how you give. And you must learn to receive from yourself. So I'll give you an example. I am a mother, yes? I have 2 small kids. The more that I give to myself, the more that I exercise, the more that I hydrate myself, basic things, the more that I give to my spirituality, the better I show up for my children through my embodiment. So through giving to myself rest, through giving to myself nourishment, through giving to myself wisdom, constantly growing, constantly learning, the more that I pour into myself, the way that I show up as a mom is my gift to my children, as opposed to this like self-sacrificing, I have to just give everything away and put myself last. And that's very much in the collective of the feminine, is putting yourself last, is the people pleasing. And it's something that is very, very much in the collective that we have to unlearn. We have to unlearn. It's a deep wound, because it stemmed from being in fear, the fear of abandonment. So here's what I see. Here's the big mistake that I see. I see women that make the mistake of showing up in love and giving love to their partner in the way that they want to be loved. So it's like you show up by giving love of affection, of support, of putting them first, buying gifts, giving lots of attention, giving lots of your energy, put like that chasing energy, checking on him, doing all this extra stuff, all of the things that you do. And why do we do it? Some women will be like, oh no, because I'm a loving woman and I'm loving and I'm showing love. But what's really going on in the background is that is actually the way that she wants to be loved. So she's showing it like a demonstration, like, here, this is the blueprint, love me this way. And that is not going to get you the result that you want, because to the masculine, they don't love that way. They love by giving. They don't fall in love by receiving. They love by giving to you. But if you're not in the receiving mode, then you're not receiving anything. He can't give to you. They fall in love by giving. But if you're just constantly in that push energy, push, there's no receptivity coming in. And that's how they fall in love, through giving to you, through providing for you, through cherishing you, and all of those things. So it's also really subtle, and I see this like so much, especially in the celebrity space. You'll be like, oh my God, she's so beautiful, she has so much money, she has all the Miss Butterworth body, all of these things going on, but you wonder why the guy is not staying with her. Why? And it's often because the way that she's showing up is she's trying to show him that the way that she wants to be loved. She's trying to like force it, push it, all of those things, that pushing energy, that doing energy, the just, it's kind of it's a subtle way of control at the same time too. It's like, look how bad I'm gonna be. Like, I'm talking about bad bitch, right? I'm a bad bitch, I'm all of these things, I'm gonna do all of these things to you, I'm gonna drive you crazy. But subconsciously, it's trying to control, it's trying to lock him down, it's subconsciously trying to make him obsessed with you so he won't go anywhere. Because look at the subtlety of it. The subtlety of it is like, yeah, I do have to do all of these things because I don't want him to leave me. I don't want him to be abandoned. I don't want him to abandon me. It's a very subtle thing, but I see it, it happens all the time. You show up doing all of these things and being like, okay, where's mine? Where I did this, I helped you with this, I did this, I did all these. No, where's my love? Where? Because subtly, you were doing it in order to get something in return. You were doing it to make him obsessed with you. You were doing it because you want to lock it down. You were doing it because you want him to love you that way. You're buying him gifts. You're showing him how you want to be loved. But it doesn't work that way. The way that it works is that you have to be in the receptivity. You have to be in your embodiment, in your body. The divine masculine, your masculine partner, needs to experience you loving yourself deeply, authentically, richly. That's how they fall in love. That's how they come to you. That's how they're just drawn to your energy. Is by you being so deeply in love with yourself, so deeply. Giving to yourself, even if he's watching or he's not watching. It's an embodiment, it's an energy. It's like when no one's watching and you're gonna sit down, do you sit down and really enjoy your food, or are you wolfing down your food in the kitchen? Are you giving to yourself in such a way that if anyone were to be a fly on the wall, they'd be like, damn, she really loves herself. She's on her queen shit. She's on her queen flow. So it's about these subtle energies that we have throughout time, throughout the day, when no one's watching and when he's watching, because that is it's so magnetic. It's so rich when they see a woman so deeply in love with herself, loving herself, deeply embodied in her body, in her sensuality. It takes so much practice, but it's possible. That is the way. That is the receptivity. Is being a receptor of good things, being able to receive good things, and it comes with being able to receive good things from yourself. So let me ask you, what about your thoughts? What thoughts are you saying to yourself? Are they nourishing? Are they uplifting? Or are they deeply critical? Because we cannot depend on someone else to compliment us. We cannot depend on someone else for our own happiness. It's not an outside thing. It's very much an inside inner work. Depending on someone else happy to make you happy will always let you down. Other people will always let you down. And so what I want you to consider is really looking at your life and looking at things that really light you up, things that really just open your heart and make you giddy, things that just like, oh my God, I just love doing this. Whatever it is, maybe it's making shea butter, maybe it's making fruit baskets, maybe it's, I don't know, it could be anything. Maybe it's acting, maybe it's modeling, maybe it's, painting, whatever it is, whatever is something that is like, that just lights you up, that you would just, even if you were getting paid, if you weren't getting paid, if you knew that you were going to do this activity that day, you would be like, yes, my life is heaven. So when you do that, that is your creativity. When you lean into your creativity, that is what is meant to open you up. That's what's meant to open up your heart. It's not supposed to be another human being. It's not supposed to be your man. It's your creativity. It's your creative flow. So now when you have this, you have the full control over what opens your heart. It's through the love that's birthing through you. It's the creativity. It's when you're in your zone. It's when it's like hours and hours and hours can go by and you're still doing it and you're like, oh my God, I love this. I can't stop. That thing, that is the thing that opens your heart. That is the thing to lean into for that happiness and that good feeling. The partner is just the one that you journey through life with, but you can't depend on another human being for the happiness. That's not it. There's just a journey. It's your embodiment. So when you're doing the thing that you love and it's like lighting you up and you're just all filled with that creativity and the happiness and the juiciness and the love for what you do, and then you go and meet up with your partner, that's that fuel, that's that fire, that's that spark, because he doesn't feel that heavy energy of like, oh, she's depending on me for her happiness. It doesn't feel good to us. It doesn't feel good to them. I see this on there's some show, and I forget the name of the show. And there's a girl in the show, and it's like she's on a first date, and she's like, why don't you compliment me? You're not giving me enough attention. Like, she's just like, I'm like, girl, lean back, give yourself all of that, and he's gonna feel that. He will fall in line, but it's like, you go first. You're the leader. As a divine feminine, we are the leader. Es un secreto. We're the leader. We go first. The way that you treat yourself, that's the blueprint. They fall in line. I try to speak to myself the way I would my daughter or my best friend. Yes, exactly. And one of the things that helps me so much is appreciating myself. Because you know what? No one else knows is going to really, really know what you go through except for you. Nobody knows that you're up all night breastfeeding. No one knows the trials and tribulations of your day. No one knows the inner hurdles that you're jumping through, but you know them very deeply. So when you say to yourself, I do this probably like every day, and you say to yourself, damn girl, you doing a good job. You just did that. You were doing a really good job. When you tell yourself that, when you acknowledge yourself, when you appreciate yourself, it lifts your vibration, because no one else is going to truly understand the depth of what you're facing. No one intimately knows those inner hurdles and the battles that you face, but you do. Acknowledge yourself. Be like, yo, I handled that situation really, really well. Because last year, I would have got triggered, but today, I didn't. I'm telling you, that's a game changer. So it's the way that you speak to yourself, the way that you acknowledge yourself, all of these things, you have to receive that from you. Become the vessel of receptivity of really good things. And it starts with your own thoughts. It starts with the way that you speak to yourself. It starts even when you're naked. Say those good things about yourself. Acknowledge the things that you love. So grateful for your channel. Thank you, sister, for existing. Oh, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. I love mermaids. Yes, so let's talk about this one. So in the art of receptivity and the art of receiving, here's your homework. When you take a bath, a shower, and after you get out the shower and you're putting on your shea butter, your lotion, your oils, your creams, and all of that stuff, I want you to really slow down and receive your touch. I want you to really slow down and like feel your skin absorbing the nutrients, absorbing the sacred touch that you give to yourself. I want you to start to think of yourself as a beautiful embodiment of the divine feminine. You have a goddess body, you have this beauty, and your body is a temple. Start treating it that way with the way that you eat. Nutrient-dense foods, the sacred touch after the bath. It's a beautiful moment to slow down and just give yourself that reverence and that worship. Okay, that's your homework. That's a juicy homework too. I love that one. I do it every day. And then the words of love, words of encouragement for yourself, acknowledging yourself, acknowledging your strength. When you do something and you know that ish was a little hard, or like you overcame something, acknowledge it. Appreciate yourself. Because the more that you have this experience of receiving love and receiving good things that you're providing for yourself, the world will follow suit. You provide the blueprint. It's kind of like if you're constantly telling yourself bad things, if you're constantly speaking negatively about yourself, if you're constantly like criticizing yourself, when someone else does it, you're not even gonna notice. You're gonna be like, it's like similar talk. Oh, it's normal. He's right. But if you're feeding yourself wonderful thoughts, uplifting thoughts, and it's a practice. It's not like we can be happy all the time, but it's like, how can I get to neutral, or how can I take the next level of the word? Like if you're just feeling sad, how can you get to grateful? If you're feeling bored, how can you move slightly to inspired? It's little tiny increments. So I'm not saying it's not realistic to be happy all the time, but we can move the needle forward. We can move the needle up when we notice we're down. So that if you're telling yourself wonderful things about yourself, if you're really working on that inner dialogue, when someone says something out of whack, someone says something disrespectful, you're really gonna notice. And that's when we have, our boundaries. And remember, your boundaries are embodied boundaries. Your boundaries is your question as asking, what am I available for? What am I not? I'm not available for anyone talking back down to me. All of those things is your embodiment. My thoughts are nourishing, but it took a lot of work and therapy. Yes, and that is the beautiful thing about it. That is the key, is that you get a chance to do this inner work, this beautiful inner work, where you get to heal those patterns that might have been inherited, or things that happen. You get to to renew, to rebirth, to really take a look at that sacred mirror of yourself, of having that self-awareness, so you can make different choices. And then your children get to experience a new you. And then they get to inherit those patterns that are so beautiful, and that are nourishing, and that are uplifting, and that are really healthy, instead of the things that we might have inherited. So gratitude is a game changer. You cannot be angry and grateful at the same time. It's impossible. So I do this a lot when I feel overwhelmed, and I'm like, okay, I feel overwhelmed, I feel this, I feel that, what can I be grateful for? And that immediately shifts everything. Because gratitude opens your heart. And when your heart is open, you're able to receive more, and you're able to receive great things. So the art of receiving goes deeper into energetics. The art of receiving goes deeper into your body, opening different centers of your body, your sacred centers, your heart, your mind, your spirit. It's deeper somatic experiences that you can give to yourself that literally flood your body with oxytocin, and makes you feel like a queen every day. So these are the embodiments, and these are the teachings that I have inside my course, Radiant Goddess. And I have a sale going on for the next 5 days. So you can use the code BLISS and you get a deep discount. And when you get Radiant Goddess, you also get Enchantress. So Enchantress, that is my sacred sexuality course. So they go together. Okay? Remember in high school we used to say, oh, we go together? Yes, these two go together. So when you get the Radiant Goddess, you also get Enchantress. And I'm going to start teaching in there on January 25th. Very excited about that. And I would love for you to join. If it's aligned for you, would love to have you. So I think this is it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you like the live streaming vibes. I just wanted to connect with you. I also have 500 subscribers now. So that's beautiful. You are drop dead gorgeous. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, so I think I might do, maybe we'll do like Saturday night YouTube lives. Maybe that will be our thing. We'll see. But if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments for me. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful evening. And I'll let you get on with your evening. Have a great night, everybody. Peace and love.